Hello, thank you all for joining in. Welcome, I'm just getting started. If you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. I'm Brooke, and I like to talk about manifestation, and specifically, I discuss the law of assumption and reality creation. So, I am a life coach, and a lot of what I teach is from Neville Goddard and how our thoughts create things. So, today specifically, I wanted to discuss self-concept, because a lot of the times I come on here and I teach about who are you being at any given point in time, and really what that is your self-concept, right? So what is self-concept? That is how you view yourself. So what are you thinking of yourself? Are you thinking that you are loved and that you're chosen and that you're worthy and that you're deserving? Or are you thinking that things never work out for you and that you're always picked last and you're unlucky? So your self-concept is really how you view yourself. And then people, places, and things in your reality will reflect those assumptions back to you. So what are you assuming to be true about yourself? And then what stories are you assuming to be true about other people? Are you saying other people don't show up for you? How people disrespect you, how you're never committed to. So what is your story that you have about yourself? And it's so important that when we talk about self-concept, it's really how are you perceiving things in your reality, because that's what's going to be reflected back to you. So when you're manifesting, remember, you're never manifesting really the other person, right? Or the actual wealth or the abundance or the thing. Yes, you're calling it in, but really it's based off of your belief system, what you're dominantly thinking and what you're dominantly assuming about the manifestation. So are you assuming that money is something that you have to work hard for? Or are you assuming that money is the root of all evil? What are your assumptions when it comes to money, right? And then you have to change them and know that you are the creator, you are abundant, and then it's easier to manifest the wealth and the abundance. So life is really just the story that we're telling ourselves, and it's about becoming aware of your thoughts. I'm looking over here at YouTube because I'm streaming on both platforms. Hello. So I'm going to see if there's questions on there as well. So if you're new, drop in the chat questions you have. D said projection. Well, essentially everything that we think, we are manifesting. So our thoughts are projected onto our screen of space and time. That's our 3D reality. That's our experience in life, the people, places, and things. So we're manifesting all the time. It's not something that we just, heard of and that's trending and that you just start doing. You've always been doing it. You just weren't consciously creating, or you weren't being intentional with your thoughts. So you might have inadvertently created some things that you don't like and that are unfavorable, but that's okay, because if you know that you're the creator and you created a circumstance that you don't like, you can uncreate it. So you do that with your thoughts. And I always say a good place to start is to audit your thoughts. So as you go throughout the day, start to notice what story you're telling yourself. Are you telling something that's not favorable? Like, things don't work out for me. I'll never get the job. I'm always overlooked. People don't like me. People think that I have an attitude problem. People think that I'm annoying. Or are you saying I'm amazing and people love me and I have the best energy and people always want to be around me and I'm a goddess and I'm a queen, right? All of those things. So what story are you telling yourself? How do you view yourself? Because yes, to answer your question, D, that is what will be projected on your screen of space and time. That is how people will start to show up in your life, because again, the world is your mirror. So it's just reflecting back to you whatever it is that your dominant assumption is. Active said, how do I see the world in a more positive perspective? Beautiful question. So start to say things are always working out for me. So when you start to adopt the mindset of, I am not, like, life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. So that's a really good place to start. And I always say gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. It's one of those things where you can use gratitude to appreciate all of the things that you have. You can have gratitude and it gives you compassion for other people because you're thankful for the people, places, and things in your life. Gratitude also is really good for manifestation because you start to call in things that you don't necessarily have in your 3D yet, right? You're just claiming that you have it and you're being thankful for having it. So start having some gratitude towards all of the positive things in your life. You know, whether if that's the roof over your head, whether if it's a good friend, a supportive partner, or a job that affords you opportunities. It could just be the shirt on your back. Start to have gratitude for all of the things in your life, and you'll start to see the world through a more positive lens when you can appreciate all of the little things. So that's one hack. And then also start affirming, I'm a positive person. Good things are always happening to me. Good things are always happening to the world. I see positivity everywhere. I always see kindness. Humans are being nice to one another, right? Start to develop that lens because truly in your question, you asked perspective, and really it's about changing your prescription, right? It's about putting on a different pair of glasses. It's right now you might have a filter that's where everything's jaded, right? As you start to see things in your life, you're focused maybe on the negative and how, you know, somebody cut you off in traffic and how you're always rejected or you're always last, or you're never first, or you're always overlooked. So you have to start to hone in on all of the things that are working in your favor. And sometimes it can be hard, and that's why we use affirmations, because you start to lean into, okay, I'm going to tell a new story. Even if I can't see it yet, I'm going to have faith in the unseen, and I'm going to trust and know that if I keep affirming, I'm a positive person, good things are always happening to me, everything always works out for me, I always get what I want, things are always aligned, then you'll start to develop that prescription, that lens, the rose-colored glasses, right? So you'll start to see the world differently. So that's where I would start. I think that's a great question. Francis said, how do you manifest someone speaking to you again? Easy. Literally stop telling the story that the person is not speaking to you. So start there, because right now you're in a state or living in the end of this person isn't speaking to me. So start claiming, I have constant communication. The communication is open and honest. The communication is frequent. They initiate communication. Whatever it is that you want, right? I don't know specifically your situation, but just say, I'm in constant contact with this person. They want to talk to me. I am a priority. They want me in their life. So you start affirming that. And if the 3D, your physical world, shows you otherwise, maybe you're blocked, maybe you're restricted, maybe, you know, I don't know, you're just not speaking, you're not on speaking terms, maybe you're just in no contact, you're going to ignore that in your 3D, because the more you give energy and attention to that, the more you'll create those circumstances, the more lack you'll have, the more scarcity, less communication. So you're going to lean into living in the end, because we create our reality through our imagination. So start imagining having conversations with the person. What does that sound like? You know, I'm so happy to have you back in my life. I miss you so much. I don't know what the story is you're telling about this person. I don't know if there's like a history or something happened. But remember, everybody is reflecting you. So what's your assumption about the person? Are you assuming that they're mad at you? Are you assuming that they don't prioritize you? Start affirming the opposite. And then, you know, they'll literally, the world will rearrange itself, and it will be so that you guys are in communication again. And again, we never know the how, right? But it just happens. So start affirming that you are a priority. You are someone that's in constant communication. You are someone that's chosen. You are someone that's a priority. You are someone that's liked, loved, and respected, whatever it is. So start living in the end of what it is that you actually want from that person. That's very easy to do. Said, thank you for that. You're so welcome. Abundance said, do guided hypnosis work? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so here's the thing. What I teach is law of assumption. So that's just, who are you being, right? Who are you being at any given point in time? What story are you telling yourself? So Do I think his hypnosis is required? No. Is it something where if you believe it works, then it works? Yes. If you have a belief like hypnosis has changed my life and it has helped me to develop a new self-concept where I know that I'm loved, honored, and adored, then by all means do it. But I don't think that you need it. You have to trust and know that you're the creator. So once you make the decision of whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you desire, your desire is yours. Creation is done. You don't need to do any sort of hypnosis. You just decide and it's done. That might help to, embed it in your subconscious mind if you believe that it works. But some people believe they don't need it and then they don't need it. Some people believe they need it and then they need it. Whatever you believe will be true for you. But I'm a purist when it comes to manifesting, so I don't like creating obstacles because then you're putting power outside of you. You're saying that, I need hypnosis, I need tarot, I need crystals in order to manifest, I need meditation. And all of those things are nice things to do if you enjoy them and if you like them, but they're just not a requirement. So really, I put the question back on you. If it's something that you like and something that you enjoy and something that you believe that works, then yeah, absolutely, it'll work for you. It'll be true for you. Whatever you assume to be true. Some people go into hypnosis and they're like, this is bogus. And they walk out with that experience. They're like, it did nothing. Some people walk in saying, I'm going to be hypnotized and all my problems are going to be solved. And they walk out with all of their problems solved because they assumed it would work. So it's, what do you assume? I don't know what your assumption is around hypnosis, but whatever you assume about it will be true for you. Active said, I'm starting to truly realize how powerful our subconscious is and how it affects our everyday lives. It really, truly is beyond measure how powerful it is. So for me, I always say that I walk through life in a state of meditation, right? So it's not that I'm sitting there doing like right? When I say meditation, I'm just talking about being aware. I'm highly aware of what I'm thinking, the story that I'm telling myself, how I'm speaking to myself. Am I going down a rabbit hole that's not favorable, that's not true, right? And then saying the opposite and saying what I actually do want and investing in that story, because we're manifesting all the time. You're manifesting the good, you're manifesting the bad. So make sure your thoughts are working for you because they truly are an investment, and you want to make sure that they're paying off for you and whatever it is that you desire, because you get to have it all, right? We're limitless. So make sure you impress on your subconscious mind the story that you want to experience. Oh, thank you so much, Love is Blessed. I appreciate you. And how are you doing, Selena? Thank you so much for joining again. I'm glad to see you. I'm also streaming on YouTube, so I'm making sure that there's no questions over there. So if you see me glance up, it's because I'm looking at YouTube as well. Active said, I feel like when I'm too aware, it makes me anxious. I tend to overthink and spiral. Okay, well, stop telling that story of when you're aware, you become anxious and you start to overthink and spiral. And sometimes we can just take a break, right? Just treat it as a little game. It's the game of life. So when I start to become aware, I was saying this on a live earlier, and let's just say you're aware of something that you don't like. And then it gives you the anxiety, and then you're overthinking and you're spiraling. Go back to the fact that you are God of your reality. That's the truth. You are the creator. So would God be anxious about his creation and overthink it? No, because it came from him. So if you see something that you don't like, you just say, okay, I created that because I wasn't aware. So what? Right? So what? So what? I am not my thoughts. Just because I have this thought, that doesn't mean that's me. I'm not my thoughts. I get to choose differently. With every present moment, I get to create because all we have is here and now. So don't let it, get you into a state where you're feeling anxious and overthinking. Just go back to, okay, I created this thing, so what? Who cares? It doesn't matter. I'm God. I get to change it right here, right now. Just say, so what? Sometimes I even say, whenever I have a thought that I don't like, I say, ew, gross. Why would I think that? Yuck. Ugh. We don't do lack around here. We don't do scarcity. So I just kind of joke around with it and just flip it. I change the narrative because Remember, everything in this world is neutral until you assign it meaning. So someone came up with the standard of beauty, and they were like, beauty is, you know, someone who's 5'5" with, you know, blonde hair, blue eyes, and pale skin, right? From a societal perspective. There's so many women that are beautiful that are dark skin, dark hair, brown eyes, right? So you understand and know that as God, you're the one that's making your assumptions. You're the one that's making up the rules in your reality. You're the one that gets to choose whatever it is your standard is. So just give it good meaning. Just say, okay, I see the anxiety, so what? It's not me. See the overthinking and just say, okay, that means I'm just aware. I'm becoming aware of my thoughts. So what? Give things good meaning, because to be anxious doesn't have to be a bad thing. Don't treat it as a bad thing. Just say, I'm feeling anxious right now. Okay. It's not a bad thing. It's just a feeling. That doesn't mean it has to be bad. So just give it good meaning. And if you all have any questions, if you're manifesting something, if you want to work with me too, I do offer one-on-one sessions for 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and 90 minutes. I just launched a package yesterday. So if you want to work with me, there's lots of ways to work with me. I have a couple of courses as well. Selena said, I started manifestation journey in 2021 after a bad breakup in 2020 and discovered Neville. Love that. Beautiful. It's funny. A lot of people discover manifestation after like breakups or just, you know, unfavorable things in general. But yeah, Neville's amazing. I love him. If you're not familiar with Neville Goddard, he is kind of like the granddaddy, the daddy of law of assumption. So check him out. I have a couple of his books linked in my bio. I also have a freebie that I just launched yesterday, and it's called Expect the Best or Embody the Best. And when you can walk through life in a state of everything is always working out for me, I expect the best, I work with the best, I am the best, my partner is the best, my friends are the best, my opportunities are the best, then you'll get nothing but the best. But if you're focused on how everything always goes wrong, then you'll just get more of that. So it's a really straightforward guide. Like when I say I put a lot of care into it and it's free, so this is, you know, completely not a plug, but it's just there's zero fluff in there. It's straight and to the point, and just how to start expecting the best as you walk through life. So the person that asked the question about how to be more positive, I definitely recommend checking the link in my bio. It's the very first thing, and it's called Embody the Best, and you can start to adopt a mindset where you're intentional with your thinking and you're starting to create a reality that's in alignment with whatever it is that you desire out of life. Like, what do you want out of life? What do you want out of your love life, your career, your friends, and your family and experiences? Because we get to have it all. Like, nothing is off limits. The only limitation we have is the one that we put on ourselves. So make sure you tell yourself a good story. And don't live in your trauma story. Don't live in your fear story. Don't live in your lack story. Don't live in your scarcity story. Start knowing that you're the creator and know your power and have a self-concept where everything always works out for you. I affirm every single day I always get what I want. And I do. And I manifest on a time crunch. I manifest the craziest, wildest things. And sometimes it comes to me as a surprise, and sometimes it's exactly how I want it and when I want it, to a T. So it's really about just being mindful. Lone Star said, I'm going to check him out. Yeah, so I have Neville Goddard books linked in my bio and in my TikTok shop. So if you want Amazon, go to the link in my bio. If you want them from TikTok shop, just go to my TikTok shop page. Active said, could I ever be able to see the world in the light you do? Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Yeah, all possibilities exist. Thank you so much, Humble, for all the roses. All possibilities exist. But really, it's like, how do you want to see the world? I would put that question back on you. It's your reality. How do you want to experience life? really get out some pen and paper. And I always recommend people just journal, start to write down what you want to experience, because my experience is unique to me. I mean, could you replicate it? Sure, but I might have things in my reality that you don't necessarily agree with or like. So make it personal to you. Write down how you want to experience love, how you want to experience leadership, how you want to experience friendships, how you want to experience travel, maybe, or adventure. Start to write those things down. How would you feel? And really start to embody that state, and just know that it's all going to work out for you and that everything will come to pass as long as you have your strict mental diet and you believe, right? And in the beginning, you're not even going to believe. That's why we say it's, what are you assuming to be true about people, places, and things in your life? So just become aware of what you're thinking and then just shift it, right? If you have something that it's like, this person's out to get me, pause and just say, no, I'm not creating a reality where someone's out to get me. Why would I do that? I know everything's coming from me. The world is my reflection. I know that everybody is supporting me, loving me, and hyping me up, and they're all my biggest cheerleader because I'm the best and people want to help me. So start telling that story. So it's just about becoming aware. And like I say, like for me, yes, I manifest specific things, but really I'm so mentally trained that it's like I'm manifesting all the time intentionally, because that's all our life is the story that we tell ourselves. So you're manifesting all of the time. All of the time. Deal said, gifts are in the power of the tongue. Exactly. Yes. Beautiful. It really is. It's how are you thinking? How are you being? How are you speaking to yourself? Neville Goddard talks a lot about inner conversation. So what does that mean? That means you're the loudest voice in your head. So make it a nice place to be. Be mindful of what you're telling yourself on a regular basis. Are you saying that you're, a loser? Are you saying that you're fat? Are you saying no one will ever want you? Are you saying that you're lazy? What story do you have on repeat? And make sure you're telling a good one. Sorry, I'm streaming on YouTube as well, so I'm making sure there's no questions over there. David, thank you. I appreciate you. Alan, thank you for joining. Ascendant said, you can't ascend if you sweat where you begin. Yeah, exactly. You have to go live in the end. So that's what reality creation truly is living in the end of your desire. You have to ignore your circumstances. You have to ignore the 3D because it came from you. It's just old thinking. If you see something in your reality that you don't like, it's just old thinking. That's all that is. So in that moment, you're just going to say, okay, I know that I created this and now I need to shift. Because you can't shift into a new reality in the same consciousness that created the problem. So you have to move into a new state of being, and only you can decide what that is. Is it an empowering one, or is it still a limiting one? The choice is yours, so who are you being? Deal said, frequency, vibration, energy. Yeah, it's all the same. It's all states, right? It's just, who are you being? Some people say frequency, some people say vibration, energy, state, thoughts. It's all the same. Just what are you dominantly assuming? Neville Goddard says assumptions. Who are you being? What are you thinking? What are you assuming to be true? So I'm here to answer any questions that you have about your reality creation, because you are God of your reality. There is no other thinker in your reality, period. Everything comes from you, every single thing. So why insert doubt? Why insert fear? If you know that you're the actor, right? Treat it like a movie, I always say. Your life is like a movie. So you're the actor, you're the author, you're the director, you're the casting person, right? You're the one that's casting all of the different supporting roles, and you're assigning them the meaning. So make sure you assign the meaning that you want to those things. Start to experience life in the way that you want to experience it. So what role are you assigning the people, places, and things in your life? And make sure that you're the hero in your movie, the main character, the protagonist, the one that everybody loves. Don't be the villain in your own story, or the victim, or the martyr, or the one where, things never work out for you. You want to be the hero in your own story. So really start to treat it as that. Like, sometimes when I work with clients, I tell them, take yourself to a scene, because our life is truly created in our imagination. So start imagining the scene of your life. How do you want it to look? What do you want a person to say? Start to rehearse that. That's called mental rehearsal. Start rehearsing those things and it will appear in your life. Athletes do this all of the time. They're not just training in the gym. They're not just doing conditioning and weightlifting and drills. They do mental rehearsal. They imagine themselves shooting the ball into the hoop. They imagine themselves running, the touchdown. They imagine themselves swinging the bat and hitting a home run. So this is real. Reality creation is done in your imagination, and what you assume is what manifests, right? The greatest athletes, Michael Jordan, he wasn't assuming, I'm a horrible basketball player, I suck, and I'll never get into the NBA. No, he thought he was the greatest. Same thing with Muhammad Ali. He said he was the greatest before he was the greatest. He claimed it. He affirmed it. So start claiming it. Start telling the story of the life that you want to live, not just what's happening to you at random. Because the thing is, nothing in this world is random. It all came from you. You just weren't aware that you were thinking it. You were asleep at the wheel. You forgot that you had free will. You thought life was happening to you and not for you. So start to be intentional with your thoughts, because you're creating your reality with everything that you're thinking. Deal said, I guide my day to day by prayer. I believe I'm very powerful in my creations, but I have a creator. Well, so what I teach is that you're Christ consciousness. So the creator is you. Everything's coming from you. So the Bible to me is the ultimate manifestation guide. That's all that it is. So Jesus is an example. He's not technically God, right? He's the Son of God. And so it's an example of him being a part of the Creator, a part of God, a part of Source. And he would see the sick and he would see them as healed, and then they would be healed. He would see them as healthy, and then they would be healed. So it's just a manifestation guide. It's showing you what you're capable of, what's in the realm of possibility. So I don't like to put the power outside of myself. I know that I am God of my reality and that I am source and everything is coming from me. So that's what I teach. Jimmy said, are you glad you quit your 9 to 5? Yes, absolutely. Every single day. I thank God I did. I mean, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with the 9 to 5. People do it all the time. It's the norm. It just doesn't have to be your default. And a lot of people assume that that's what they have to do. They forget that they have free will. You don't have to do a 9 to 5. That's not the only way to make money. There's so many people out here doing different things, starting businesses, and people get scared and then they get in their fear story and then they don't go out and do the thing they actually want to do just because they want the security of a 9 to 5. That's okay. That's fine if that's what they want. But if you don't want that, you don't have to subscribe to that. Don't think that you have to do it just because it's safe and it's secure and it's what you were taught. Think differently. There's so many different ways to create reality. I affirm all the time I get paid to exist. Money comes to me effortlessly and easily, and I get paid in the most random ways with random opportunities, and it's awesome. I no longer have to clock in for 8 hours and leave for 8 hours in order to get paid. I like to be open to money and abundance specifically. I always say always in all ways. So I don't really put a limitation on the way that I can make money. I think a 9 to 5 kind of caps you on how much money you can make. So I just don't subscribe to that. But again, there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. People do it. But if it's not for you, then start to think differently. Jacob said I work 2 days a week. Amazing. Love it. That's beautiful. A-Town said, I assume I am wealthy and happy. Does that mean I take on things, challenges to get that? No. So reality creation is done in your mind. You don't have to force things. So there is something called inspired action. So When we talk about reality creation, it's about who are you being? Are you being the person that has your desire or that doesn't have your desire? Are you taking action from the stance of I need to force this thing in order for it to happen? Or are you taking action from the place of the version of you that already has it? So yes, there are natural things that you would do if you had your desire. So let's say, for example, you were starting a business and you're like, I'm an entrepreneur, I make $100,000 a month, $30,000 a month, whatever it is, you name your price. And then you start to affirm that and you're living in the end of I'm a successful entrepreneur that makes $100,000 a month. Naturally, you would have an LLC or an S Corp, whatever it is. If you were selling a product, you would have your product developed. But if you're coming from the place of I need to make money, I have to make money, I need to get a team, I need to brainstorm, I need to get a lawyer, I need to go to market, I need to do this, then that's trying to force the manifestation. So it's really who are you being? If you really truly are in this assumption of I already have the health, I already have the wealth, I'm already happy, and I'm making tons of money, boatloads of cash, you're doing it from a place of ease. There's no stress, there's no worry, there's no force. You're just living your life, running your business. So that's the difference, is who are you being when you're taking action? Are you being the version of you that has it or the version of you that's trying to force it to happen? Because naturally we're going to take some action, right? I mean, successful people, they're taking action. They're not just sitting on their thumbs and, twiddling them. They're taking action, but they're also not desperate. They're also not forcing. They're also not chasing. They already have their wealth. They've amassed it. They're doing their work from their yacht. So start to embody that as you're doing your work, and just knowing that it's already yours and that it's already done and that creation is complete. It's finished because you decided it. All it takes is a decision. That's it. It's just that people waver and then they start to check the 3D and they say, where is it? They're checking their bank account. I don't see the money. I don't see the customers. And that's when your manifestation will be delayed, because you're going back and forth between I have it and I don't have it. And that's not really a delay. That's an instant manifestation. You instantly manifest that you don't have it, because manifestation is instant. The second you decide you have it, you have it. It's just typically people in the next moment look for it and they say, I don't have it. And then they instantly manifest that they don't have it. So you really have to live in the end, have faith in the unseen and in the knowing that your desire is already yours. Because remember, all possibilities exist. So you're essentially just aligning with the version of you that has it. That's really what it is. I'm checking YouTube. Okay, no comments over there. Wanda, thank you for the follow. A-Town said, knowing it's already mine. Yes, claim it. It's already yours. It's already done. You're God. So creation is finished once you decide it. That's it. It's that simple. So rest in the knowing that it's yours. Neville Goddard talks a lot about resting in the Sabbath. What that means is you've come to a place of acceptance of you have your desire. You're no longer wavering. You're not checking. You're resting. You're living your joy. You're living in the end of you have your desire. It's done. Creation is finished. That's what the Sabbath is. The day of rest. A-Town said, checked my bank account earlier. Upside down face. Are you saying it wasn't what you wanted? Is that what you're saying? Like when you check it and you see something you don't like, add zeros to it. Go into your imagination. And if it says, $1,400, pretend that it says 1.4 million, whatever it is that you want. Maybe it's 140,000. Envision the number, live in the end, and just say, oh my God, I can't believe I have so much money. Your brain does not know the difference. Your brain is impartial. It has no idea. It does not know the difference. A-Town said, I appreciate you. What's the accountability that I need to embody the new me? Honestly, it's just about being aware of your thoughts. I literally walk through life in the state of being just aware. So just when something unfavorable comes up and I'm thinking something yucky, like, so for example, 2 days ago, I was headed to the Rice Terraces. It was something I really wanted to do. And I woke up and my stomach was like in knots. And I was like, oh God, like, why is this happening? And so I was just like, oh, my stomach hurts so bad. My stomach is cramping. This is awful. And then I was like, no, I'm the creator. I'm not affirming this, because every time you have a thought, you're affirming that thought. So I was like, no. So I immediately went into, I feel amazing. My stomach feels so good. My stomach is at ease. My stomach is relaxed. I embody health and vitality, and I'm in perfect condition. And I feel awesome. I feel like I'm on cloud 9. Did I feel like that? Absolutely hell no. I felt horrible, but I just kept affirming it, and I kept affirming it. And I was like, I don't have any cramps. My stomach feels good. And this was like at 10 a.m. and I had to leave at 12, and really technically 11:30. So I kept affirming and affirming and affirming. My stomach feels good. And by the time we left and went, my stomach felt so much better. I had no issues for the rest of the day. And it's because I was aware of my thoughts. Had I indulged the story of I feel horrible, my stomach hurts, I'm not going to be able to go, this is going to ruin my day, I would have had a horrible day. I would have continued to be sick. I probably wouldn't have gone. If I had gone, I would have been miserable. And I could have had a completely different outcome. So it's about being aware of your thoughts. And when I give that example, it's because people think with manifestation it has to be this big thing that you're manifesting. No, be aware of your thoughts all day long with everything. Our life is the story that we're telling ourselves. So if I'm telling myself I feel sick, my stomach feels awful, I'm not going to be able to go, switch that narrative. Same thing with friends and family. Maybe you're going to see someone and you're like, oh, they're going to be annoying, they're going to like be on my case about this. No, you're going to say, they support me, they love me, they care about me, and whatever story you want to tell. So life is just the story you're telling yourself. So just become aware of what you're saying to yourself. That's really it. And then move into the new story and stay there. And the more you do it, the more familiar you'll become with it and the more natural it is. That's why I highly recommend getting my free guide. The link is in my bio, because it talks about how to just expect the best. If you can just start there, right? That's really basic. It works for anything. Expect the best in life. Embody the best. Know that you are the best. I always get the best. The best things always happen for me. The best people are always supporting me. I'm surrounded by the best people. I am the best. Start to tell that story, and it will be reflected back to you. So check the link in my bio for my free guide of Embody the Best, because that's an awesome resource and there's zero fluff in there. It's like an excellent read because I made it so freaking digestible and so simple. I mean, it's literally like a Google Doc. I didn't even want it to be like frilly because I feel like nobody reads those things that are like overly done. This is just super pure and to the point of here's how to go from a state of wanting to a state of expecting. And that's to expect the best. Assume the best. Steve said anesthesiologist. So you're trying to be an anesthesiologist, so go to the end and start living as if you are an anesthesiologist. You don't even have to know the how. I don't even know if you're in med school or not yet, but just start claiming it. You say, I'm a successful anesthesiologist. I'm board certified. I have my license. I have a thriving business. I'm contracted with 7 different hospitals. I'm in high demand. I don't know what it is that you want, but live in the end of it's already done, and then your opportunities will unfold. You'll naturally take your tests. You'll get into med school. Med school start to say, it's easy for me. I get all A's. I barely even have to study. It just comes to me naturally. I'm naturally gifted and talented. I know this inside and out. The answers just come to me. So start saying that and live in the end of it's already done. You're already successful. I mean, for me, you can manifest in steps like that where, you know, it's I apply to med school, I'm in med school, but I would just go to the end. I just like going to the end saying, I have a successful practice, I treat 1,000 patients a year, and I make $400,000 a year, whatever it is that you want. So start to manifest that. And don't worry about the steps in between. The steps in between will naturally unfold if you just go to the end. Late Night said, I've been manifesting a lot. Yeah, you're always manifesting. It's something that you are always doing, but yes, you're truly locked in. Yes. So you're consciously creating. That's awesome. What are you creating? Someone asked, when did you get in alignment? I found manifestation in 2020. So that's when I started to get into manifestation. And conscious creation, right? We've always been doing it. It's just we weren't being intentional around it. So now I'm intentional. I've been intentional for the last 6 years. So, and the more you do it, the easier it gets. Like I said, the other day I manifested being well in 2 hours. I had somewhere to be. I was sick. Like when I tell you I was sick, it was bad. And I just kept affirming, and I manifested that on a time crunch. To be honest, I even shocked myself. I was like, holy shit, like I can't even believe I did that. Like it's like surprising, but not surprising, but just sometimes it's even shocking to me because it's just about persisting, and it will manifest. Thank you so much for the heart, me. So it can be really, really quick. It can be so fast. So yeah, so I'll go ahead and say my little, I guess, departure speech. If you want to work with me, check link in my bio. I have a lot of different options to work with me, and they are pretty, I think, affordable. And then follow me on YouTube so you can watch this back from the beginning. And then follow me on Instagram because I want to stay connected with all of you. And you never know what's going on with this app. So I would love to see you over on IG.